Y ahora dice el tango, dice estas palabras que salen del corazón de una barriada argentina que se llama el arrabal de Buenos Aires, la calle de Montes de Oca y Laguna Villa, viven los recuerdos, los tangos ya viejos, pero tarde. Espérame, tú me dijiste que la que ha de volver. Ya la glicina perdió sus flores, la primavera la hará volver. Excúsame, puse mi pena y pensar. No, ahora no me recuerdo ni de los tangos, pero voy a tratar de componer un tango.
Very nice, Papa.
Wait a minute. Ahora no me acuerdo del tango. Lo que es la vida.
My dad was born in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, in November 23, 1928. And he was the second oldest of four siblings. And one of my stories that I really feel a lot from my dad is the story of his childhood and how he kind of defined himself in the world. He grew up with his mom and his dad who was an alcoholic and somewhat abusive to my grandmother. And at a very young age, my dad had to be entrepreneurial and inventive. In the winter, they would heat up bricks in the oven and put them at the end of the bed at night so they could stay warm. And he told me at the age of 14, he had to kick his father out of his home in order to protect his mother, and he became the head of a household at a very young age.
He wanted to leave Argentina. He left at a very young age. At 16, he had my grandfather happened to be drunk, and he went there with a piece of paper, told Grandpa, his father, it was for school, signed this for me. And basically the paper was to release him to work on ships at a young age. And at 16, he's been on the ships, till he was like 27, 28 years old.
And I admire my dad because he gave us a life that he didn't have. And he worked really hard. He came to this country at 17, he decided he was going to join the Merchant Marine and travel the world and really live life experiences. And he settled in New York, where he met my mother, and he raised a family.
Well, he sacrificed a lot. I mean, you leave your family, you leave all your family in another country to come here, that you don't know what's going to happen. I don't even think I could do something like that. So that, then on top of that, you have the responsibility to take care of your mother in another country, and she lives till she's 90-something years old, which, that's bad luck but good luck, I guess. So that was tough. But, he did a lot, him and my mother.
And my mother came as an au pair from Costa Rica and worked for a family. And my dad was doing like snow removal. And so he came and he knocked on the door to collect. And when he saw my mother, it's kind of like, it's a funny story, but he saw my mother and he said, I want to take you out. But my mother at that time, I think she was 25, And the woman of the house came and he said, "You don't have to pay me the $5. Like, you know, I want to go out with Cecilia." And the woman said, "Well, Cecilia will determine that if she wants to go out with you." And she did. And he took her to go see Mary Poppins in the movies. And one day he said to her, because my father was married to another woman, and married but estranged. And he says, "I'm married, but I'm going to marry you." And my mother laughed at him. She said, "Yeah, right." And he did. He got divorced. And then he took a trip to California because he had a dream to go to California.
He kind of felt comfortable in California working for this landscaping company. He asked my mother, his girlfriend at the time, to move there. And Mom said, "If you love me, you come back to New York." And he ended up coming back to New York. And he got married 69 and had me in adopted Lisa 69 and had me in 1970.
When he got married to my mother, she was 29 and he was 40. And he wanted a family. And they had trouble conceiving. And they went to Costa Rica. And while they were there, a baby was born through my mother's brother's wife's family. And the mother of this child had developmental issues, and she couldn't take care of this baby. And upon a conversation that they were looking for a family to take the baby, my parents are in Costa Rica, and the grandmother knew my mother and said, "Cecilia," because my mother said, "We were trying to have a baby. Cecilia, if you want this baby, you know, we'll let you take the baby." They took the baby, my sister Lisa, to the church. And they said, "We are going to baptize her. We're going to give you the certificate. And, you know, she's your baby. And this is the proof that she's your baby," because people had babies in the home at that time. And that says a lot about both of my parents. 1 year later, Uncle Jeffrey was born. 2 years later, me. And then 4 years later, Uncle Chris. So they still had their own family. But my father's trauma from his family life, because his father was an alcoholic and was abusive to his mother, and at a young age, my father kicked my grandfather out of the house, and he became the head of a household. He recognized the value of a good father, and he broke the chain. He broke that karmic chain of alcoholism, of violence in the home.
So I would say I have a pretty good relationship with him. And he's always happy to see me, and I'm always happy to see him. And I don't think it's changed over the years. He still kind of views me the same as just his granddaughter, and he's always been very affectionate towards me.
He's just like a really inspiring person. Like, he's kind of like a Renaissance man. He does it all. He does landscaping, you know, fishing, painting. So it's just really cool. And, you know, I have a lot of great memories of like going fishing with him. We went kind of fishing, I think, off the coast of like Massachusetts, and I'd always catch like these baby sharks, which is kind of like funny because then we always have to throw them back. But, you know, it's just always fun, you know, fishing with him. And on those fishing trips, we're mainly looking for bluefish. So yeah, and then, you know, his paintings are really cool, and he gave me a painting, the USS Constitution painting, which is here, to my right.
In Matthew in the filmmaking and Margot in the music, both of Matthew and Margot have moved into this have taken an artistic direction, and I think a lot of that is from Oscar's artistic influence.
In English.
Just dígale. Yeah. It's all right. We'll tell you.
I swimming. I like the swimming.
Here we go.
I like the swimming. I like the swimming. Estoy en Costa Rica de turista, no trabajaba. Y everybody said que me viniera para la playa.
They tell them to come back because
Me decían, come back. come back because remanso se llama.
Te está llevando.
Así, un remanso.
Oh, the whirlpool.
Y me llevó, ¡paf! Iba para adentro. Y los de adentro hacían así. Que me viniera, que no me podía venir. Me daba, y que no, trabajaba, y me quedaba. Me llevaba más y más. Y eso que está ahí,
Ya te
No
quería
estaba.
morir.
digo, God, give me power, the rest I put in myself. Chun, 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 chun. Y dos mujeres me vinieron a buscar, me besaban y todo. Y, ¿cómo te salvaste? ¿Cómo te salvaste? A mí me salvó un dicho que dije, God, give me power, the rest I do it myself. Bomba.
He's very, in tune with God and his religion, and I think he knew he had to do for himself, but all he was asking for was that strength, that little bit of faith and strength from something else just to get done what he had to do and what he's done in his life, which is incredible. From coming from Argentina to starting the business, having the family, having a garden center. I mean, there's a million different things that he's done.
Can you describe your father in 3 words?
In 3 words? I'll do 2.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give you my hero. Made me a better man, better father. For that, I appreciate that, So, he's a good guy. Stand-up guy. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect, but he wasn't perfect, but he's good. And he taught us to be good, so it means a lot. He made me a better man, let's put it that way.
They would always be putting on tango music, and he would teach us how to tango, and then even like later into my life, like this past summer, he's trying to sell me dance lessons, but he always says the first one's free, and they're all free. And he says, I'll charge you next time. But he always tries to teach me how to tango and dance, and he's done it a lot. He's always trying to get me more comfortable with dancing, because I'm not a big dancer, but he always will dance with me if I'm uncomfortable.
This is fantastic. I see my family all in here, make a movie. Yeah, for he say bye. So I don't go. I stay all around you heart and you mind and everybody. I stay all over there.